Evening, ma'am. We're in pursuit of someone very dangerous. He might have come onto your property. Have you seen anyone recently?
No. Bert!
Is he in there with you, ma'am? He's not what he seems. God forbid you let him into your home. And if so, we need to act now.
Kilia! Tushpa! Ikaw kilo kayo sa Tushpa Chukka Kilona!
Jihoya, Chiapisa, Chitakla, ay Chigi.
Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and confusion of phases scattered throughout the four corners of the earth to captivity. Start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Bracha, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders at great millstone that rule well. There was a clip of that movie, Sinners, and fair use for commentary on it. It was the clip of when the so-called Native Americans were chasing after the so-called white man. We'll leave it at that. All right, we won't get into the fucking plot of the story and shit. But this is to display the spirit, the two opposing spirits, if you will, juxtapose the manner and the fucking type of spirit that these two different tribes of the nation of Israel were on. We know that the so-called Native Americans, the indigenous of this land, in mass came from the tribe of Gad. Okay? Gad and Reuben. And, the tribe of Judah was brought over here in fucking cargo slave ships, around the 1600s, right? The so-called fucking Negroes, they belong to the tribe of Judah, okay? And you saw that Gad was in the spirit of war, okay? They were in the spirit, in the vibration of getting busy on their enemies, okay? They weren't so much into that party spirit, even though they had their celebrations and they had their different forms of that. But, for the most part, they were handing it to these devils, okay? We know the Heavenly Father, He caused them to fall. He caused them to be fully conquered by the so-called fucking white man, right? He is the one who gave the so-called white man the ability to do it, even though he did it shadily, right? He fucking made treaties and pacts with the so-called Native Americans and broke all them shits. Okay, we know that was the case. The Gatling gun, all these different things, but who influenced the so-called white man to do that shit was the Heavenly Father. Okay, for a time, for a purpose. Alright, and that's for another lesson, but this shows you Gad was over there hunting down fucking Edomites. and Judah was in the spirit of fucking partying. All right, and that's what it is to this day. A nigga is the main one that you see in that whole festivities type spirit, the turn up shit. Okay, and I even did a clip of the part when it showed throughout the different generations, even back from that time. What did a nigga do? He got a fucking barn house or whatever the fuck you call it. Got a barn and turned it into a fucking, essentially a club. Okay, a dance club. But throughout the times from that time to now, that's what Jake kind of shit they're on. They just want to fucking party and bullshit. Alright? Even though you did have these different counterculture movements in the 70s and all that, you know, which some of these scriptures go into, right? But they eventually got subdued. They couched down, as we're going to read in Genesis 49, all right? And see, how you destroy a nation is you destroy the head. How you destroy anything, you destroy the head. Okay? You affect the head, because what happens to the head affects the whole fucking body. And Judah is the top tribe of the nation of Israel. They are the head. Actually, let's jump to there real quick. The whole head is sick. Isaiah 1:5, why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. Okay? It just like it tells you in the Gospels that how you spoil a man's goods, how you fuck up his family pretty much, is you bind the strong man, and the strong man just goes into the head of the house. Okay? And the head of the house of Israel is the tribe of Judah. Okay? That's why it's going to take Judah being roused up to you know, to get this thing cracking. And we know the Heavenly Father is going to do it. Okay? This is in Genesis 49:9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Okay, let's go into this. When it talks about the prey, let's see. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. In the NLT, I believe it says that you had just finished eating your prey. Exactly, and there was a time when Judah had some form of they were in some form of a vibration of coming against their enemies, right? All those Negro, so-called Negro movements in the 70s and shit, okay? But they got pacified because they got subdued, they got infiltrated, and they were given programs and shit to placate them, you know, which pretty much means to pacify their anger. Okay? Let's go into this. Stoop down. Kara'ai. And it says, to sink. Okay? It goes into same kind of the word as couch. To fall. To feeble, meaning to be feeble, right? And then it said to smite. So they had been smited. Okay? what happened to the so-called Black Panthers. Okay, they were fucking violently put down. Okay, subdued. Subdued is a fucking military term. All right. It says, oh, they were caused to bend the knee, right? Fully fucking subdued. See, to bend one's knees or fall upon one's knees is also used of those who do reverence to a king. So they had to do that to the so-called fucking white man. So those who sink down for want of stress, Salakia, sink down for want of strength. So they became weak. That's why the Strong's definition gave us the word feeble. It says falling. Okay. Stooped, lay down. Let's see. There's one more. It says to depress, i.e. to afflict. And Judah was fucking afflicted. Alright. Let's go into this. The word couch, rabataz, in the Hebrew, to lie down. It says to repose. It says like a recumbent animal. That word recumbent, when you go into it, it means fucking spread eagle. And that's one of the most vulnerable positions a person can be in. Alright, their arms and legs stretched out. Okay. It says to cause to lie down. Okay. It says to recline. Alright. And you know what a fucking couch is. You know what you do on a couch. So, Judah has become fucking complacent. Okay. And you can see the opposing spirits. You can see the spirit on Judah. It's kind of a laughing, smiling, joking fucking nigga. But then when you see, even to this day, the Native American, so-called Native Americans, the tribe of Gad, they've got a fucking crucial look on their fucking face. Even the ones that look like Negroes, you know, they're not the same as Judah. Okay, we've got a lot of Gad in this camp, and these men are fucking critical. They have a different kind of spirit on them. All right. It says, is applied to men living tranquilly and securely. It says to a curse which rests upon anyone. To make to lie down. See? And that's the spirit of these fucking niggas. But who's gonna rouse them up? You know, the Heavenly Father is. Let's get that Chronicles 6. Let's see. First Chronicles 5, Salakia and 18, the sons of Reuben and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh, of valiant men, men able to bear buckler and sword and to shoot with bow and skillful in war. See? So these are the warrior tribes, you know, Gad being among one of the top, if not the top warrior tribe of the nation of Israel. Okay? They were centrifugal in our battles. Alright? And don't you think that Mosai doesn't change? This thing's not going to switch up. Alright? Let's get that. This is how we know they're going to be centrifugal in the war to come. Okay? There's going to be lots of wars to come. The race wars. And we know all war is dictated, the battle's outcome is dictated by the Heavenly Father. We know that. But the Heavenly Father uses the theater of war. He uses different players. And we know the angels and all that for sure, guaranteed, but he's going to use men on this motherfucking planet. Okay? Actual mankind for this war. Different opposing forces to go against the fucking heathen. Alright, Esau, Edom, and the other heathen nations. Okay? He's gonna not only put spirit on 2/3 to get fucking busy, but he's gonna give his elect spiritual power. Okay? And if it wasn't so, why would this be written in verse 19? Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Okay? It tells you right there in what form. It says a troop overcame. When a troop overcomes you, that's in battle, that's in war. So Gad is going to overcome in war against them in the end. Okay? And Judah is going to snap out of that fucking spirit. We'll close out with the definition of that word, rouse. All right? They're gonna get roused up. Look at this. To arise in a hostile sense is the same word. It's that word quam. You know, in quam yasharala. When we say that, it's not rise so you can be a nigga, so you can do nigga shit like these other camps. Quam yasharala, so they can fucking put on some fringes and go to the cookout. All right. Or trick off on one of the Israelite sluts that come to their gatherings, right? No, it's in a hostile sense. It's the same word. This word rise, to the day that I rise ye to the prey. You know, how is he gonna rise us to the prey in war and battle and destruction upon our enemies? To arise in a hostile sense. See? There you go. Let's see. That really tells you it right there. To rise against anyone. Okay. Use the word of incitement. Says especially to Yahweh that he may grant aid. Alright? And aid in what? Aid in the battle. And it says that the Heavenly Father is going to rise them to the prey. And how does Yahweh Hashem Yahushai do it? Oftentimes in the scriptures it says he will deliver the enemy into our fucking hands. Okay? And that's what it's going to take. But just as we mentioned, what happens to Judah happens to the entire nation. And that spirit is just going to fucking permeate throughout the tribes. This is coming very soon. The Heavenly Father is rising that great exceeding army in the form of the hopeful elect first. Okay? It's going to have that fucking trickle down effect. Because what did this great awakening really start with? Judah? You know, in 1969, you mostly saw Judah out there, you know, coming into the camps, forming these camps. All right, so it's pretty much a wrap. Very shortly, this thing is gonna get it's gonna get hot and heavy. All right, so with that, call Shalom.